The honourable member for the district of Signal Hill, Kitty-Vitty.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, earlier in question period, the Premier stood in this House and quoted an individual doctor saying that he or she is not pleased with the NLMA. This action is not unlike the kind of divisive actions taken by the Premier and the former Health Minister in 2008, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to ask the Premier, when will he stop playing these kinds of games and grandstanding and deal with the issue, which is a crisis in our healthcare system because of their lack of coming to an agreement with the doctors?
Order, please. The honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, if this email ended up in the hands of the Leader of the Opposition, she would question me on it and then would ask me why we weren't being open and accountable and transparent. The reason for disclosing this is to indicate that the NLMA doesn't have its act together, that they're not united among themselves. It's very difficult, I don't know if you've had any involvement or any experience in negotiation, but it's very difficult to negotiate with an executive that doesn't know what it's doing. And if it doesn't have a strong mandate from its own people, then it's how the heck do we possibly, as a government, try and come to terms with them? So I have a letter with them that says, from a doctor representing a group of doctors, that said that he doesn't agree with the statements that are being made by the NLMA. He's also making a suggestion here that there's mob rule in the NLMA. This is internal. This is not something I'm making up. This is something the public needs to know. We want to get this finalised. We want to get this negotiation settled. And we want to bring peace to this whole situation. But for you to try and allege that I'm doing something wrong,
Honourable member for the district of Signal Hill, Kitty-Vitty.
I hope for his sake, Mr. Speaker, the day doesn't come when the Premier has somebody from his backbencher saying something against him and his executive, because he'll say it's not the individual you have to listen to, it's the executive you have to listen to. I saw and heard the Premier pull exactly the same kind of grandstanding up against the nurses, yet eventually he had to bow down and they had to come to an agreement. He pulled the same tactics. Is the Premier going to stop grandstanding and deal with the issue of negotiating with the elected representatives of the doctors through their NLMA?
Order, please. The honourable Premier.
thank you for the Sermon on the Mount. That was lovely. I really appreciate it. I don't need a lecture from you or anybody else, I can tell you that much. We're trying to get this resolved. There's a letter that's going out this afternoon that's putting $80 million, $79 million of public money on the table and offering close to Atlantic parity, which is exactly what the doctors have been looking for. What more do you want? But you're just trying to make it you're trying to grandstand, you're trying to make small p politics out of it, you're trying to make us look bad and everything else. When we're trying to do the best thing, we're trying to protect the public purse. All the social things that we've done in this province, whether it's in healthcare, or is on the municipal side, is on the education side, is in human resources, in poverty reduction, is never enough for you. There's never enough money around because all you want to do is criticise. Get on the bandwagon.
The honourable member for the district of Signal Hill, Kitty-Vitty.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. When it comes to the issue of the impasse that the government is in with the doctors at this moment, and based on public comments the Premier has made, I don't have to do anything to make him look bad because the public sees the things that he has said. He's done it himself, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during this...
Order, please. Order, please. I ask the honourable member to pose her question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during the last 7 weeks, at least one thing has happened. We've had doctors speak out about what they're experiencing, the difficulties they're experiencing as family physicians, as ER doctors, as internists. The stories have been out in the media. They are telling us what they're going through. When will this government stop dealing with things piecemeal and acknowledge that we have major problems in our healthcare system and need an external review of this system, Mr. Speaker? I ask the Premier.
Order, please. Order, please. The honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, what did we do when the ERPR situation came up? What did we do when the oncologists wanted to meet? What did we do when they wanted to have a raise? We acted immediately. We gave them a significant raise, which virtually put them on close to Ontario parity. So we stepped up immediately. What have we done as a government? We're now up to, I guess, close to 2.7 billion dollars. That's what we've done. We've dramatically increased it. We put money into information technology. We put money into equipment. We put money into long-term care facilities. We put money into nurses. Yes, we settled the nurses. So we trying to get my goat because we bowed down. I'll bow down to anybody if we want to get an agreement. This is about getting an agreement and bringing good health care to the people of the province, not playing cheap, dirty politics like you do. Holier than thou, the member for Signal Hill Kitty Bitty.
Order, please. The time allotted for questions and answers have expired.